What's up, YouTube? Georgia Silver Hunter back, and today we're going to be doing a $100 box of nickels from a local. I think I got this at a local Wells Fargo. Honestly, I can't remember. It was either a Wells Fargo or a Fifth Third, but it doesn't matter because we got $100 worth of nickels to hunt. Looks like this box was from Loomis, so probably Wells Fargo. I'm telling you, I'm already a little excited. I think I saw a 1940 Ender somewhere in here. I've got definitely some good circulated nickels to go through, so hopefully we'll find all kinds of goodies in here. There's that 1940. Like some V nickels, some Buffalo nickels, maybe some war nickels, and all kinds of mint errors and varieties. That's what we're hoping to find, so let's jump into this box and see what we can find. So as part of our hunt, we will be trying to finish filling this Jefferson Nickel album from, I think this was from Whitman. Yeah, it's a Whitman Classic album from 1938. It says 2003, but I have put all of the extra pages in it to get us to 2023. And the holes are kind of hard to see. I'm only missing a handful of nickels other than a lot of the modern proofs. So starting in 71, they started doing proofs, at least nice, shiny San Francisco proofs. And I'm missing most of those. And I don't think I'm going to find many of those coin roll hunting, but those are things we'll be on the lookout for. To make it easier for us, I do have a cheat sheet, and this cheat sheet has been running for quite some time. I only have a handful of nickels to get, mainly 38, 39, and then a bunch of the silver 35% war nickels, and then a 49S and a 1950D. So there's our list. You can see it's all pretty low mintage stuff. Let's go ahead and get into, I'm going to open like 3 rolls and just see if we can find some silver. And then what I'll do is go off camera hunting these things along with my Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book and the search list that you can find in the description down below this video for the various mint errors and varieties that we're hoping to find. Hunting for silver and nickels is a lot like hunting for silver in $half. It's just a little bit harder to do though. So I always, if I'm looking for silver real quick, we'll just take a quick look. Typically your silver is going to be a little greener or a little grayer. Once we find one, or if you're doing your own hunts, once you see one, you'll be able to pick it out. But sometimes you can do it from the edge, but oftentimes you will have to look at the faces. Nothing looks like silver there. Quick hunt for like a buffalo or something. Not seeing it. And let's do one more just to see if we can get lucky here. Now, also as part of this hunt, we will be pulling anything from 1938 to 1959. Those are typically a little lower mintage and a little harder to come by. We might have a ground target right here. That's typically a nickel that has been found in a metal detector hunt. This I can tell is old. We got ourselves a 1940. Looks like a Denver right here. There's an oldie. Just 2 years away from a war nickel. Let's see this really green guy. 1981. Now, a lot of war nickels actually kind of look like this. So always be on the lookout for something that looks a little bit off color. There's a 2000, and what is that? That's a really nice 2004 Philly that's a little toned. There's a 41 right there. We got another oldie, 1940. We got another Denver. So pretty cool. 2 40s there in the first 3 rolls. We got a 1942. Now this could be silver. 42 is a split year. Okay, 42. If the mint mark is above the Monticello, then it is a silver war nickel. If it's next to the building, then it is just a regular 42 that's made of nickel clad. So let's see. And look at that. We've got a San Francisco up there at the top. 1942 San Francisco war nickel. And guess what? Let's pull my list back. The 42S is one that is going to fill our album. Only 13.938 million minted. So that is a great find. That's unbelievable that we found that in the first 3 rolls. I'm honestly a little shocked. But 35% silver right here. And I'll put the silver melt value of this on the screen. Obviously, I want it because I'm collecting them. But I'll give you the total value on that. So I'm going to go ahead and go off camera. I do look at each and every nickel. I do look for mint errors and varieties. And I'm also going to pull anything that's a stunner because we're going to try to upgrade our book if we can, if we find any really, really nice nickels. So hopefully I'll be able to bring you back in early and often. So we're still getting through those first 3 rolls. I've gone through most of roll number 2. I'm actually doing them in reverse. And we've come across another 40s find. This is a 1946. I've already looked at it. It's a Philly. I've done a little bit of looking. 46 is one of the Hennig nickel years, and a Hennig nickel is a counterfeit nickel. Those nickels were, and I just lost the list, there's only a handful of years, like 38, I think like 44, 46, and maybe 54. There's a couple of years. It's in my cheat sheet. Most of them have a couple of telltale markers. One is that most of them weigh over 5 grams. I weighed this one and it only weighed 4.7 grams. And real quick, the other way most of them give themselves away, just so you guys know, let me back out a little bit here. You will see a die crack that comes down and you can see somebody scratch the coin, probably trying to fake a fake nickel, but there'll be a die crack in there. And the other way you can usually tell is there's a big loop, basically a circle in the R right there. That's another telltale sign. Whoever did the die on it, there was some blemishes or damage on it, so it's an imperfect fake. But keep an eye out for that if you're not looking for them in your nickel hunts. But we just have ourselves a 1946 Philly. Same roll, just a couple of nickels later, we've got another find. Came across this one obverse facing. We got ourselves a 1958. Looks like a Philly. Got into roll number 4. We're about 10 nickels in, and this one just looks old. Haven't looked at the date yet. Obviously a San Francisco, which we don't see a whole lot of those. We've got ourselves a 1941S. It's a nice little find for the hunt. So I wanted to bring you guys back in. That 1941S does have a couple of varieties on it. It has an S over S, a couple of different varieties of that. It has a repunch mint mark, and it has a small S versus large S, and an inverted S. So there's a couple of different things. And looking at this one, I want to say it's the large S variety, but I'm just not sure. The pictures on PCGS don't look like this, whether it's the 41S or the 41 large S. So I'm definitely going to hang on to this one while I do some more research, but if I don't have an update on this by the end of the video, and you know more than I do, I'd love to get your opinion. I kind of want to say right here, it looks like there's maybe an S over S, right? You got something here and something here, but when I really crank the light up on this thing, a lot of that goes away. So I don't think it's a repunched mint mark either. This one's got me a little perplexed, so if you know something I don't, please let me know in the comments below. We're on roll number 5, and we got our next find, a 1956. See if we got a mint mark. Looks like we have a Philly. And to roll number 7, our next 50s find, we've got ourselves a 1959, the first year that we're looking for to hang on to. I don't know if that's actually looking like a little bit of post-mint damage or something, is it? That could be a little cud, but I think it's just post-mint damage. But anyway, we've got ourselves a 1959. Looks like a Philly. Very next roll, roll number 8. I got the roll out and was kind of just quickly going through them looking for a buffalo and saw something that doesn't belong. Got a 1990 5-cent piece. I believe this is from the Bahamas. It's actually from Bermuda. I was close, started with a B. Here it is, Elizabeth II, 1990, Bermuda nickel. Bringing you back here, roll number 14. We've got our next find, a 1959, second one on the hunt. Looks like we've got a Philly. And bringing you back in, same roll, couple of coins later, we got another oldie looking here. We got another San Francisco mint mark. And we've got another 1941S. Bringing you in here, roll number 15, about halfway through, we got our next find. And this actually came up reverse facing. I had to turn it over to see what we had. And this is an absolutely gorgeous 1939. And because I've already seen the reverse, I know we don't have that Denver that we so desperately need. It's a Philly, though. But you can tell from looking at the reverse, this one would have been tough to pull out and say it was going to be a 38 or a 39. I think the 39 does have a double die reverse down on Monticello. Quick, we'll check Pluribus. Back way out here. There's usually doubling, well, not usually. If there's doubling, it's down here on Monticello and 5 cents, and I'm not seeing it. Again, just look at some of the other lettering. This is just a really nice looking 1939, so I'm going to put it over, rather than put it over here in my regular finds, I've been throwing stuff that might be book upgrades over here, and we'll be sure to check our books for these at the end of the video. So we're up here on roll number 17, and nothing special, but I just wanted to bring you guys in to show you. This is the kind of stuff that I'm looking for book upgrades. So whenever I come across stuff like this, I definitely hang on to it and want to see if it's an upgrade for the book. And you can see it's kind of a grease strike, and that's kind of why it's so shiny and nice looking. But you can see the striations from the grease that was in the dies. But it's an absolutely gorgeous nickel. 1988 Philly. We'll put it over here with the rest of them. And hope we can upgrade some nickels outside of that 1942S we found earlier in the hunt. So same roll, a handful of nickels later, we've got another find. We've got ourselves a 1952 this time. Looks like a Philly. Get into roll number 21, we've got our next find. It's another 50s. We got a 1954. If we have a mint mark, there's all kinds of different errors that we could look for. But unfortunately for the Philly, we got nothing. So 1954 Philly. It's going up here with all the rest of it. Same roll, towards the very end, we've got our next find. And this one was a little tough to see upside down, but we got it. A 1948 Philly. So we got into roll number 23, a little more than halfway through, and we got a surprise here. Now this came up reverse facing, so the surprise has been ruined for me. But we got ourselves a 1949 San Francisco, and that was one of the ones from my list. I'm going to pull it back up here just to show you. That is another one we've been looking for at 9.7 million. It is also a semi-key date with that low of a mintage, and this one's in pretty darn good shape for being a 1949 and being such low mintage, so I'm excited to be putting that down in the book. Let's have a look at the mint mark underneath the scope here, just to see if anything's up with that, anything's up with the mint mark. Nope, looks pretty normal to me, but very excited to have another book filler. Well, we're into roll number 25, just 2 coins in, and this box has been pretty darn fantastic. Now, this one came up obverse facing, but look at this. We got ourselves a 1939 Philly, and there's actually steps on this thing. For being a 39, like, I don't know if I've ever seen one with steps. Let's get this under the scope. I mean, it's not full steps, but you can see some steps, which is really, really odd for a 1939. Definitely going to be a book upgrade for me. It would have been amazing had we had some full steps. I'm going to look at just kind of what a mid-range XF full step 1939 nickel is. I'll put it up on the screen. I have no idea because that's not the kind of stuff that I memorize, but it is a Philly, still a nice one, and we are definitely going to be putting it in our book. We're into roll number 28, only about 6 or 7 nickels in, and we've come across another 1954. Let's see if we can complete the trifecta. And we did. We've got ourselves a 1954 Denver, so we got the PD and S in this hunt alone. Just picked up roll 29, and just to remind you guys, we got that 1940 Ender, so we'll have at least one find in this roll. Hopefully, we'll have a few more. Well, here's our roll. I wanted to go ahead and show you the 1940 because we actually did get a second find so far, but we got that 1940, and it is a Denver. We'll just put that up here with our other 1940, but I stopped about halfway through the roll because we had another find. This time, a 1952 Philly in pretty darn good shape. Might be an upgrade. So we just got into roll number 30, and about 2/3 of the way through the roll, we got our next find. Now, I had to pick this up. It was obverse facing. I thought it was a 1953, but as you can see with a little magnification, and I'm going to put it under the scope for you, it is in fact a 1955. Here it is right there, 1955. And the 1955 Philly is a semi-key date, which means it's super low mintage. I'll put it on the screen. I don't have it off the top of my head, but there we have it, 1955 Philly. Now, this is an ugly, ugly nickel. I already have it. It's definitely not going in the book, but it's definitely something I'll hang on to, being a semi-key date. We're into roll 32, and we're coming across our oldest Jefferson nickel that is available, the 1938. Now, the Denver and the San Francisco are semi-key dates. We need the Denver for our book. What'd we get? And we have another Philly. Oh well, it's still a nice find for the hunt, but I wish we had another book filler. We're down to our last 2 rolls. Our box is empty. I've kind of skipped over the last 7 or 8. We've been slowly piling on duplicates of coins we've already found, and my list of shiny, blingy things that may upgrade spots in the books has continued to grow. But just bringing you in here on roll number 49, as I kind of laid it out, we got through 2 coins. We got ourselves a 1984 Canadian nickel. I think that's another foreign on the hunt. And as I was looking through it, we got another one here, a 1997 Canadian nickel. So 3 foreigns on the hunt. I haven't really paid too much attention for oldies. I'm going to keep going through it. And if we find anything super old in these last 2, I'll be sure to bring you in. Well, we're getting through roll number 50, and we've come across another stunner for a 1939 second-year Jefferson nickel. This thing just looks amazing, and again, for my book, I need the 1939D. The DNS is a key date due to the low mintage. Let's check it out. And we've got another Philly, unfortunately, but again, this is going to compete for a spot in the book. I think the last one we found had better steps, but I'll have to check that out at the end of the video. Also, the doubling on the DDR that would make this really valuable would be in Monticello, and even at this magnification, you can tell we do not have that doubling. So I'm getting through all my finds, trying to organize them to see what's going to be an upgrade and what's not, so we can try to get through a full wrap-up. And while going through the 41Ss, I know I stopped while making the video, and I'm a little stuck here. I think I do either have an inverted mint mark, an upside-down S, or I have one of the large S varieties here. So really quickly, show you guys the pictures that are in my Strike It Rich with Pocket Change book. This is the large S on the left, the small S on the right. To me, it's pretty obvious when you can see them side by side which one is the big one. Again, circulated $15 to $25 according to this book. And the inverted one, it mentions that the a small S mint mark with the ball portion of the main mint mark upside down. So I'm guessing this is only available on the small mint mark. But when we do it here, it looks like the upside down one is much closer to the building. So anyway, I'm going to take you over to the computer, and what I've done, because it's just really hard to do this on the scope and show you guys what I'm seeing, I've actually taken some stills, and we're going to compare them in some in a graphics program so I can show you guys these 2 nickels sitting on top of each other. And the other thing, while I have you, I forget which one of my viewers, they sent me an email and they said the UPS store can actually spiral bind your Strike It Rich book. And this book is so much better spiral bound. It lays flat. It's wonderful. And my UPS store only charged me $5 and like 83 cents to do it. So if you have this book, this is a recommended upgrade. So let's jump over to the computer. Okay, well, we've got you over to the computer, and what I've done here is I use this program called Affinity Photo, I think it's 2. And what I've got sitting over here are my 2 images. So that's one, that's the other one. And you can kind of just see from me swapping back and forth, but I've taken it one step further and made it so that we can, in fact, just kind of see through these 2 photos to make sure that I've got this lined up right. So right now we're at about 50% see-through, so you can actually see both nickels at the same time. And what I'm going to do is slide these around just to make sure we're aligned. So like if you look down here on the O, you can see there's one image sitting on top of the other one. You know, the A, make sure that's kind of lined up. The windows are pretty close. That looks like we're pretty dead on. It might be just a little bit off. Even the edge of our nickels line up. I did my best when taking these photos with the microscope to make sure they were aligned. Now that I'm pretty sure they are, again, when we go through, I think this is the large S. And when we come through, this is the small S. Now, the question that I have as I look at this is this an inverted small S? Because the ball is up here on top, and we kind of have the little serif down here on the bottom. So do I have an inverted S on one, and then the large S on the other? Because I would say very clearly this is the large S, and it's inverted. So you can see, again, we've got our small serif down here and our big ball up top. So Maybe one's an inverted large S. Based on what I see, it's tough for me to say. I don't think I have like an over mint mark or a repunch mint mark, even though I see a little bit of something here. I don't know if that's just damage to the coin or whatnot, but I would love to know from you guys in the comments down below. I'm going to write this up as at least having a large S variety that I'm going to hang on to. I'm just not exactly sure if that's an inverted S or just a standard. So again, let me know your thoughts, comments down below. So this was an incredible $100 nickel box hunt. We had a ton of finds, as you can see from the mat here in front of me. I'm going to go through all of them as quickly as I can. I probably had to cut the video down a little bit, so I'm not going to have brought you in for every single one of these finds because there were just too many. But we did end up with a lot of book fillers, a lot of book upgrades, and I think possibly one or two varieties that I already talked about earlier in the video. But let's go through our finds really quickly. We had 3 foreigns, one from, I think it was Bermuda, 2 from Canada. We had a 38 filly. We had 2 39 fillies. I have 1 39 filly down here that is going to be a book upgrade. Let's see here. We had 3 1940s, 1 filly, 2 Denvers. We had a, what do we have? A 41. This is a Denver. Not going to be an upgrade in the book, but we had those 2 S's that I pulled down here. Again, love to know your thoughts in the comments down below, but I might actually have 2 varieties right here. If not, I'm pretty sure I have at least 1 large S variety, which is pretty cool. We did end up with 1 war nickel, and it happens to be a book filler, that 1942 S, so 35% silver. Always happy to find those war nickels. Unfortunately, these were a year off. We had a filly and a Denver 46, a 47 filly, 48 filly in Denver. We had this 49S semi-key date. It's absolutely gorgeous in my opinion, and that is a book filler as well. Really happy to find that. We had 2 Philadelphia 1952s, a filly in Denver 53. On the 54, we had a filly, 2 Denvers, and a San Francisco in that order. We did have 1 1955P. Let's see here. Where are we? At a 56 filly in Denver, 3 58s, 1 filly, 2 Denvers, 3 59s, 1 filly, 2 Denvers as well. Now, I forgot to call these out. The 52, we have an upgrade. The 49S was a book filler, 42 is a book filler, and the 41S is definitely, one of these is actually an upgrade to what I have in the book, but I may flip them up and keep them separate if I'm right about the variety status. Now, as to book upgrades for some of the later years, we got a bunch of stuff out here. We've got ourselves, what do we have? A 65. Well, we had that 39 here. We had a 65, and I'm not going to call out all the mints unless we can see them. 75. We had an 84 Denver. We had an 87 Philly. We had an 88 Philly, a 2001 Philly, a 2005 Philly. That's that new Buffalo nickel, and a 2010 Philly. All nicer than what I already have in the album. So we're going to end it here. I will go ahead and punch these down in the book, and you'll see me doing that here while we get through our outro. But this was a ton of fun. I already covered the Strike It Rich book and how I went ahead and had UPS spiral bind that. This is a much nicer way to use this book. You can see it lays flat, so excited to do that. I'm going to go ahead and go through those and fill up my nickel tubes because I've got a lot of finds in here, and I'm excited about having the new stuff in the book. If you like this video, let me know. Drop on down below, click that like button, and leave me a comment. If you're new to the channel and you want to follow along with my nickel hunts, my penny hunts, my $50 hunts, make sure you click on that subscribe button and then click that little bell and select all so you get notified each and every time I release a new video. I'd really appreciate it. Special shout out to all my channel members. Thank you guys for supporting the channel each and every month. It really helps me out. So thank you, thank you, thank you. In the backlog, I actually have another box of nickels that I got from Fifth Third. I've got a penny box that I think I got from a Wells Fargo. And of course, we have some $50 boxes coming in later in the week. So I'm excited to get into those later, probably towards Friday or Saturday. So with that, I hope you guys are all doing well. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.